Coming up on today's episode, creamy holiday mashed potatoes. There's nothing like it, and it's a great holiday side. Let's get to the intro. Welcome back to another episode of Plant-Based Dads. I'm Joey. We are a vegan family, mostly whole foods cooking channel. We do some product review, some DIY, sometimes there's some baking with Tim. If you like what you hear so far, please hit that like button, show us some love, and think about subscribing and becoming part of the Plant-Based Dads family. All right, so if you've been following the channel lately, then you know that I'm doing the Starch Solution. The Starch Solution is a way of eating where you eat high carb, high starch, whole foods, and low fat whole foods, and you lose weight. And it's worked for me. I've lost about 30 pounds on it, and I absolutely love the food. I love being able to eat till I'm full and not starving to death like I did on so many other meal plans. Currently, we're in the middle of a 21-day challenge for the Starch Solution, and that's mostly being conducted on Instagram and our Facebook group. So picture the Facebook group right here, Plant-Based Dads, Starch Solution Enthusiasts. It's like 3,000 people who are all just like doing the Starch Solution, right? Sharing pictures, sharing ideas, sharing success stories, what worked, what didn't, just kind of all helping each other along. So if you're not part of the group and you're doing Starch Solution, definitely join that. You'll get a lot of support. All right, so as you can see here, I'm wearing my new Starch Slayer t-shirt. It's from the merch site right below the video. I love this shirt. I got a bunch of new ones I'm going to start wearing. So much fun. So check those out if you're interested. So for the rest of the holiday season, I'll be doing Starch Solution compatible sides and entrees that you can bring to a family gathering or make if you're hosting. Today, one of my favorites, creamy mashed potatoes. Oh my gosh, so good. You're absolutely going to love these. I don't normally make mashed potatoes for the Starch Solution just because to me they're a lot of work. I try to just have foods prepared during the week, and whole potatoes, cooked in the air fryer. That's kind of my thing all week long. Then I just grab those real quick, throw them with some broccoli, and I've got a meal. So mashed potatoes do take a little bit of extra work, working in the ingredients and mixing in a bowl, but so worth it. I can just make these on the weekend and have them all week. I don't know why I don't do this other than holiday seasons, right? But these mashed potatoes are going to become your new favorite, and the gravy is right out of the Starch Solution book, so I'll tell you about that too. All right, I can't wait to show you how easy it is to make these and how good they look. Let's get to the food. For the mashed potatoes, I started out with some golden Yukon potatoes, about 2 pounds of them. You can see here I'm just cutting them into halves and then cutting the halves into half. It's going to depend on how big your golden potatoes are. I just want them to all be kind of the same size so they'll cook together evenly. Now, as I'm cutting them, I'm putting them into a pot of water to keep them from browning. And when you cook mashed potatoes, you want to start them out in water cold. You don't want to drop them into boiling water. So I'm just cutting them and putting them into the pot of water so they're ready to go on the stove. You can see here I've got the pot of potatoes on the cooktop, and I'm throwing in a little bit of salt in the water while I'm waiting for the water to come up to temperature. Once we're at a full boil, I'm going to turn the heat down just a bit to about medium-high, stir it up, and let the potatoes cook for about 12 to 15 minutes. During the 12 to 15 minutes, I'm going to keep stirring them every now and then just to make sure nothing sticks. After about 12 minutes, start checking them for doneness. You can pull one out of the water, stick your fork through it. If the fork goes right through without any pressure, it's done. If not, then let it cook for a few more minutes. These were ready to go. Now I'm going to strain the potatoes into a strainer over the sink. I'm not going to rinse them. I'm just going to strain them. You'll see here I'm just dumping them right in, and you'll see there's water running in the background too. It's to negate the hot steaming water by running cold water so the sink doesn't have issues by bending. The temperature will mess up the sink. So you see here that the potatoes are just going to drain here, and I'm just going to leave them alone for a few minutes. Now I'm taking the strainer here and I'm carefully dumping all the potatoes back into the pot, making sure I don't spill any. And I'm going to take this pot and put it back on the cooktop. And here's a pro tip right here. Put them back in the cooktop, turn the heat on low, and just kind of keep stirring them for a few minutes until that steam stops. That'll make sure any excessive moisture is out of the potatoes so they're nice and creamy. Should take just a few minutes. All right, guys, now I'm dumping the potatoes into this glass bowl. I absolutely hate this bowl. I would never use it, but it's clear. It's one of the few clear bowls I have, and on camera, I want you to be able to see it all. Otherwise, the sides are too narrow on this, and you'll see what I mean later on here. Now that I've got the potatoes in the bowl, I'm going to start adding my seasonings. I've got 1 teaspoon of garlic powder here, and now I've got 1 teaspoon of onion powder, And I'm just gonna kind of mix these together here just to kind of get them pre-tossed. Now I'm taking a potato masher and I'm just starting the mashing process. We're actually gonna whip these with an electric whisk, but I'm just kind of getting them combined here to make it easier on the whisk. Now I've got a handheld whisker, mixer, whatever you want to call it, and you can see here how stuff's just flying out of the bowl. I hate this bowl. And I'm just pouring in my soy milk. I'm going to be using 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup. I actually use 3/4. I'm pouring in a little bit at a time and just kind of mixing it up and then pouring a little bit more in. And I want to get it to a very soft consistency. I've got the mixer on the lowest setting. I don't want to over whip these and turn them to glue, right? But I do want them to be nice and creamy and soft. Again, use a bowl with tall sides in it. My bowl that I wanted to use for this is stainless steel, and you wouldn't really get the effect of what I'm doing here with the camera. So that's why I'm using the glass bowl. Otherwise, I would never use this bowl. All right, so now I'm taking my spatula and just kind of mixing it all together. You can see we're getting to the finished product. It's absolutely creamy and soft. I'm gonna take some black pepper and sprinkle that on top and make sure I've got it peppered up. And I'm gonna sprinkle in a little salt. You can salt and pepper this to taste. It is optional, it is up to you. Now, while I'm editing this, I realized that I have scallions and parsley I cut up in the fridge and never put them in before I ate all of the potatoes, and they're still in the fridge. Now I'm going to take a taste and make sure it doesn't need any more salt or pepper. Ah, perfection. Look at this, guys. Beautiful, soft mashed potatoes. Absolutely delicious. I can't wait to eat these. Now we're going to make the gravy. This is right out of the book, The Starch Solution, page 248. It's the golden gravy. The only difference is I'm leaving out the tahini, so it's fat-free. I'm popping in 1½ cups of vegetable broth, 1/2 a cup of water, 3 tablespoons of reduced sodium soy sauce or tamari, and 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. I'm gonna mix all that together with a whisk, make sure it's combined, and then bring it to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, I'm adding in 1/4 of a cup of brown rice flour, and I'm just stirring it in a little bit at a time. And even, I put too much in at once here. It really needs to be a lot less than this, like a tablespoon at a time. I'm just kind of freehanding it, and you can see at the end, there are some little clumps that I weren't able to get whisked out. So, I mean, it tasted delicious, but just so you know, you probably want to put in a tablespoon at a time. That's what the book says. That's how it needs to be done. You can see here it's thickening up. Shouldn't take more than 30 to 60 seconds. Just keep whisking it, then remove it from the heat. You can see here it's nice and thick and ready to go. All right, now it's time to plate this up. I've got my beautiful mashed potatoes here that look so good. I left the skins on, but you can always peel them if you want. Now I'm drizzling my gravy over it. Look how nice and beautiful that gravy is. It looks just like a holiday, right? Oh my gosh, absolutely amazing. Now I'm adding on some chives, because that's how I roll, and I'm getting this little gravy compote out of the way so I can take some photos. And there you have it, guys. Beautiful mashed potatoes and brown gravy, and you are ready to host for the holidays. Amazing. And that's all there is to it. All right, you can see here that they look absolutely beautiful. Look at the texture and, you know, the creaminess of the potatoes. Look how good the gravy looks on top of there. I mean, I'm ready to dig into this. Let's give this a shot. I know it's delicious. I've already eaten like half that bowl, but I'm gonna try it anyway. So good, guys. These are a crowd pleaser at any meal, but having this option for a holiday, if you're on the Starch Solution, I mean, that's really a blessing, right? I hate the idea of going to a holiday dinner with family and having to go, you know, I can't eat that, I can't eat that, I can't eat that. And the way to prevent that is bring something with you, right? Bring something that you know that you could eat, maybe 1 or 2 dishes. And if you're gonna have the stuffing that they made with all the oil in it and all that, then just have a small part of that and then fill your plate up with the foods that you brought. All right, guys, that's our video for today. Creamy mashed potatoes with gravy. Absolutely delicious. You have to make this. The holidays are here. What are you waiting for? All right, if you like this video, please hit that like button. Show us some love. What's not to like? We got creamy mashed potatoes. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, click on that bell. You'll get notified every time we have a new video, usually every Monday. If there's a DIY, it's on Wednesday. If there's baking with Tim or anything else, that's on Saturday. And please leave a comment below. What are you planning on doing to be successful during the holidays? Are you just gonna wing it, or are you gonna make a plan and you know, come up with some foods that you can take along with you? I'd love to hear it. I mean, any of that stuff helps me too. Are you doing the Starch Solution? Are we in it together? All right, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.